so let me pull out my verdict. So I'll just compare this with the competitors as well, the RTR 200, the Duke 200 or the Hornet 200. So in my opinion, I'll say that RTR 200. What's up YouTube, welcome to the detailed review of the Pulsar NS200. So this motorcycle was with me for the past 5 days, and here goes my detailed review. So you might be wondering, why Pulsar at this time? Like, are there any updates? Yes, of course there are some updates for this motorcycle now, and that's the reason why I'm doing this video. So Pulsar just rolled out two variants of the NS200, one called a base variant and one called a UG. So there is a 200 base and a 200 UG. So this one in my hand is a UG. So I'll give you the basic differences of this these two motorcycles from the beginning itself, and yeah, let's get into the detailed review of it. So the base variant now comes with a digital instrument cluster and the LED headlight, and it is losing the dual channel ABS. It is going back to a single channel ABS, and it doesn't get a USD suspension. And coming to the UG variant, you have the LED headlight, the digital console, dual channel ABS and the USD, and also we get a ride mode. So the ride mode is that we have two options, one is road and off-road. Basically just convert your motorcycle to a single channel ABS. That's the reason why we have a ride mode. Oh, it just got rained and the bike looks so sexy now. Already the Pulsar 200, actually the NS200 looks so sexy from any other angle. Rather than the P series or the N series, I like the NS series more. So I've been a big fan of the older Pulsars, like the 150s, 180s. I come from an era where I started my riding on those motorcycles, and it's good to see this one, the NS200. So look wise, I'll say that it looks really nice. In my opinion, I'll say that recently Bajaj is overdoing something on the headlight, but otherwise still it looks good with the DRL and that kind of a look, which has been followed for the 160, 200 and the Pulsar NS400. It looks really good. But coming out of the tank, it's massive, man. It looks really nice. Look at that styling. They have been maintaining that lines for a very long time, and it looks really neat. Be the tank or that a little bit of exposed chassis, everything looks so neat and clean, except the fact that the bike just got dirty because of the rain. And we have the tail section that again, I think Bajaj is not updating anything over here, because you know, Bajaj has reached that pinnacle of making this motorcycle looking so beautiful. Look at the tail light, it's really nice. And also the tail section, it doesn't require a tail tidy, by the way, because the stock bike itself looks so neat. So I'll just demonstrate the riding posture and the seat height and all. So getting on the motorcycle, it's not a tall motorcycle. You can see I don't have a complete planted foot on both sides, but it's kind of okay. There's a new digital console, and if this is my normal riding stance, say I'm sitting upright, a little bit of sportiness to the upper body, and there is a little bit of room to sit back as well. But I doubt that taller or even a chubby rider will be having a little bit of problem sitting on the bike moving around. I don't think shorter and lean riders won't be having a problem, but taller riders will be having a problem that they have to give a little more lean when they sit on the motorcycle. Pillion seating comfort is good, just like the rider seat, and the grab rail is good. It's not intervening with the pillion seating, and the distance to the pillion footrest is also good. It's not cramped. In a way, it's good. So without wasting much time, let's go for the ride. Before that, actually I'll turn on the motorcycle and I'll make you hear the exhaust sound. Sounds crazy. So before we start rolling, let's look into this new instrument cluster. So it says smart connector over there. That means you can have your phone paired with this and have turn-by-turn navigation. So here we have the gear position indicator, tachometer, then speedometer over here, odometer. Then there are two riding modes, as I said, road and off-road. It will keep switching here. So the riding modes doesn't have any change in power. So it's just that you have a different setting for the ABS, and you have a running fuel efficiency, Bluetooth turn off. That means you can connect your phone to this dash and have turn-by-turn navigation, and good amount of data. So average fuel efficiency, trips, yeah, that's it. So let's roll. So I would say that this particular Pulsar, the NS200, is being designed for the mid-range performance. You might be knowing that the Pulsars are actually meant for high speed. So if you see their ads or if you see how generally people use this as well, the motorcycle is designed for a little more sporty riding feel. So let's do a 0 to 60 run over here. Let's see. Zero to 60 comes up really fast. It's a downhill, that's the reason why I didn't really stress on doing a 0 to 100. So the engine is actually enthusiastic. It feels really good to ride. I don't really say that it feels powerful because, you know, I've been riding the Pulsars from the past very long time, as I said, from 150 and 180s. So while comparing to all those motorcycles, well, like from the past, we were having the BS3 and then the BS4 and now the BS6. So these emission norms are actually killing the motorcycle for the emissions. In a way, it's good that it's good for the environment, but the thing is, the motorcycle doesn't really feels powerful what it actually used to be, you know, because few years back 200cc really meant to be powerful and performance oriented motorcycles. I'm not telling that this is underpowered, but this has power, but this doesn't have that kind of a power which used to have in the older motorcycle. So the advantage is it's hell smooth. So if you're riding in this 4000 to 6000 band of RPM, you have an absolute comfortable ride. Like, I don't really feel any kind of vibration, but post 8000 RPM you'll start feeling a little bit of vibration. So I'll say that the power band is 6000 to 8000. So below that it is fine if you are riding inside city and riding in the sane mode. Just see this, like we are in the 6th gear, we are in around 40 speed and the motorcycle doesn't have any knocking. I'm not whacking off the throttle now, but you know, it slowly climbs to the top speed, and the maximum I've done is somewhere like 130, 135, and it struggled to go a little faster after this 120 kmph. So I'll say that 80 to 110 is a very comfortable speed, and after that it starts climbing slowly, and also after 110 you'll start facing the little bit of buzziness from the engine. You can feel it on the foot peg, a bit on the seat, a bit on the handlebar, but altogether it's a really nice feel out of the engine that it demands you to push the motorcycle. And I didn't really face any kind of heating out of this motorcycle. I was riding it in the performance mode as well while in the city, but still I didn't face any kind of heating issue, and also didn't face any problems with taking U-turns or riding inside city, because it's a very easy, it's a very comfortable flickable motorcycle for the city use. So it's much easier to ride around. If you are riding alone, then taller bumps are not going to be a problem, but if you are planning to ride with your pillion, then you have a little bit of ground clearance issues. That's what I've seen. And braking wise, I'll say the front brake is really good. It has good stopping power even if you're hard braking from a speed of 110. Post that, I have a little bit of observation that say it is 120, then the motorcycle itself has a little bit of wobbling issue, because you know it can get affected by the crosswinds. It's a lighter motorcycle, so the advantage is actually you can ride it easily, but the disadvantage is if there is a slight crosswind, that is going to affect the motorcycle in the high speed. So if you plan to buy this motorcycle and you belt it all the time at 130, then I'll say that the braking is not so good. You have to do something else. And the rear brake, I'll say that compared to the previous version, it feels a little better. It has decent stopping power if you are riding inside city. If you are on highway, that brake can be used just to slow down your speeds. That's my personal feel. And when it comes to suspension, Pulsar suspension is always comfortable and confident, so I can feel that going at a good speed of 100, this gives a really lot of confidence to take up that speed. And if you have one more person sitting behind you, then that's the sweetest part. So you can actually ride this motorcycle a little more faster, but it's not suggested to anyone, but I'm saying that if you have a little more load on the motorcycle, it stays really good. Be it high speeds, it stays really good. And I'm not so happy with the tires. You can see that if I get into these kind of lines, then yeah, motorcycle actually tend to lose a little bit of grip. And you might have a opinion that you can have this kind of a problem with any of the motorcycle that you ride, but I'll say that there are good tires. So if you are someone who actually pushes the motorcycle, and especially on this NS200, you should find a good pair of tires. And one another good point of these VS6 motorcycles are it gives a hell lot of good mileage, man, because when I was riding around I was approximately getting a mileage of around 30 km per liter, and that's what Bajaj also gave 30 to 35. And if you are riding on the highway, if you are in these speeds, definitely you'll be able to get the most of it. Say that you can even get a 40 km per liter. And coming on to the ownership aspects, I'll say that the base variant will come for 1.4 lakh ex-showroom, and the UG variant comes for 1.49 lakh ex-showroom. So in my opinion, I'll say that better to go for the UG variant, because you have, you know, ABS in the both sides, USDs. It's a complete package by itself, so just go for it. It's just 9,000 rupees. That 9,000 rupees is worth it. And service interval is like for service in 500 or 750 kilometers, and after that one's in 4,500 kilometers. And each service cost is like less than 1,000 rupees, so that means it's much affordable to maintain as well. So in that opinion, I'll say that it's a pocket friendly machine to ride, a pocket friendly performance oriented motorcycle in 200cc. So let me pull out my verdict. So I'll just compare this with the competitors as well, the RTR 200, the Duke 200, or the Hornet 200. So in my opinion, I'll say that RTR 200 feels a little more punchy in the 0 to 60 mark, and but I'll say that I like the looks of this motorcycle more than the headlight of the RTR which you see. But RTR sounds better in my opinion again. And when it comes to Duke is actually a very lighter bike, and again it's almost a similar kind of performance. Then I'll say that the KTM gives a different kind of a DNA. If you love the KTM feel, you have to go for it. It's a proper motorcycle for the enthusiast. You have more braking power, your suspension is more stiffer, you have that kind of a high speed confidence. And when it comes to Hornet, I'll say that always Hondas are named for their reliability, so that's it. So if reliability is your point, just go for that. But if you want an entire package where you want to ride a motorcycle in a very affordable manner, then go for this one. So that's my take on the Pulsar NS200. I really enjoyed this motorcycle, riding it inside city, because I was riding it fast, and the third gear, fourth gear feels very good, and it sounds good as well. So altogether a positive feel on the motorcycle. So that's it. If you have any doubts on the motorcycle, do let me know in the comment section, and as always, show some love in the form of likes and comments. See you in the next video. Until then, bye bye. It's a downhill, that's why it's much faster now.